Hey guys, this is my review for Ace Combat Assault Horizon. In this game you play as a bunch of pilots for the American Air Force, and you're basically trying to stop the Trinity bombs, which is like a weird version of a nuke. You get to go to different locations, and I've tried to add in like landmarks from random countries into the map, but the overall style of the map is still pretty basic. It's not really in-depth, especially for if you're doing jet missions. The only real missions where they actually went into a little bit of detail on the map and the environment you're in is if you're flying a helicopter, in which case I've tried to put more buildings and stuff in to actually give you more of an environment feel, but for jets and bombers, it's basically like a weird image just stuck to the ground, and if you go too close, it doesn't really look good. It will just sort of goes fuzzy and you can't really tell how far away from the ground you are, so it's not really the best design for it, but I get that they're trying to just save on performance and more people can play it. But still, I would have liked to have like proper huge cities to fly around in a jet and make it a little bit harder for when you're fighting. However, they did add to this game a dogfight mode, which is basically where you get close enough to a person, you press a button, your plane gets really close in behind them, and then you can just shoot them with your gun, and it has to like lock onto them with your homing missiles, and then you blow them up. Sometimes on some of the maps when you go into dogfight mode, they have these weird sequences where they'll like fly near a crane or something, and it will blow the crane up when you shoot at them. It's not really set to just do it like if you're in a battle and you shoot someone that is going to react directly to what you're doing. It's more like a preset thing where they sort of have you just shoot at them, and then at a certain point the plane will die that you're fighting rather than you actually having to kill them, which is kind of disappointing, but it's what they've done obviously to try give you more of a feel and make you feel more in depth with what you're doing in the game. I just thought it was a little bit disappointing. Um, you've got different weapon choices and loadouts that you can put on your planes, and you can also choose different planes. The weapons, you basically got multi-guided missiles, or you can use like unguided bombs, guided bombs, long-range missiles. There's quite a few options. It's basically dependent on what sort of mission you're going to do, whether you're going to have to attack ground units or attack air units based on what your weapon loadout would be. The bomber missions are pretty average. There's not a whole lot to them. They do these weird like triangles in the sky. You go near one, you press a button, it goes into a route. You basically just point or direct your aim over top of a target, press a button, it blows up. There's no real like major challenge to any of the bomber missions really. Sometimes jet planes will attack you when you're in dogfight mode or in bomber mode. They don't do that much damage to really bother you. Even on like hard difficulty, you'd have to be getting hit a lot to really have to die. There's a few boss fights in the game which I also don't like. You pretty much could, I think like a couple of them I fired at least 20 missiles into their plane, and they were all direct hits, and the guy like still didn't die, which was kind of disappointing. But I get that they tried to make it a little bit harder. But overall, like, they didn't increase the difficulty that much. They just gave the person a ridiculous amount of health. He still was pretty bad, like all the other AI in the game. The helicopter missions, I probably liked the most because it seemed like they put a lot of effort into it. The viewpoint for it wasn't very good though. And it's the only real one where they let you use the mouse on PC, was with the helicopter. I would have preferred to have used the mouse with the jets and the bombers, but I get that they just want to use the keyboard. But overall, I mean, the story to the game was alright. It wasn't super in-depth. You didn't really get attached to too many people. There's just the main characters, which were the pilots. And yeah, I mean, it was a pretty average game. You're looking at like 5 to 6 hours of gameplay. It's a little bit different to some of the previous Ace Combat games, but the overall like style and gameplay to it was quite similar. They just added a few more things that were in the previous games. So this one was made in 2013, so it's still reasonably new, but I wouldn't go out and buy it. I'd probably buy one of the older ones because I thought the old ones were a little bit more fun and a little bit better for like an air simulator type of game. This one just felt like a really slow, just pressing buttons, getting into the perfect spot, pressing a button when it flashes a certain color. I didn't really feel like I was getting into the real combat of it and having to properly aim and stuff or anything like that. But they do a lot of like missiles and stuff, so there's not a whole lot of aiming. It's just directing your view, looking at the target, not really having to do much else. But yeah, it's just my opinion of the game. Make sure to comment what you thought of the game in the comments below this video. I'd probably only give this game a 5 out of 10, because I mean, it wasn't the most amazing airplane game I've ever played, but I mean, it had its good points, so I'll still give it a 5 out of 10. Okay guys, see ya.